Reading is a complex cognitive process of decoding symbols in order to construct or derive meaning. It is a means of language acquisition, of communication, and of sharing information and ideas. The current state of reading across the world, like is obtainable in Nigeria, is currently deteriorating as people engage themselves more in activities that demotivate the use of books or literature. The poor rate of reading in Nigeria is evidently abysmal and calls for major concern. Today on Public Announcement, we'll take a close look at reading trends, factors that have contributed to these trends, what people have replaced reading with, and how we can regain the habit of reading. Welcome to Public Announcement. In a statement made by acclaimed writer Chimamanda Adichie after her novel Purple Hibiscus was shortlisted for the Orange Prize, she said, unquote, "Many Nigerians say the reason for this is obvious, the economy. We're too poor to read. Literature is after all a middle class preserve. And since our middle class is being economically eroded, reading has been put aside for the pursuit of basic survival." University lecturers, for example, who were firmly middle class 40 years ago, now straddle the line between middle and working class conditions. They are often owed arrears of salaries, and the salaries themselves are so insufficient that many turn to force-selling pamphlets to their students. In addition, electricity is erratic all over the country. Fuel prices and food prices keep rising. Running water is a luxury, and the roads are full of potholes. Life is precarious and harsh. It is reasonable then to expect that reading would become an irrelevance. In a few words, materialism is one of the factors affecting the reading habit. In Nigeria today, most people are not interested in embarking on any activity that has no corresponding financial gain. The socio-economic environment is not convenient for reading. The daily struggle for economic survival provides little or no time for people, especially those living in the cities, to cultivate a good reading habit. The decline in the standard of education and rising cost of books in the country has seriously affected the reading culture in the country. The dilapidation of libraries and the lack of morale to join active literary clubs or societies is predominant. Then, the good and bad roles social media and technological advancements have taken with consistent distracting and addictive features also contribute to the poor state of reading not only in Nigeria but in other regions of the world. On the streets of Lagos, we engage people in mind-opening conversations on their thoughts and their remedies.
The Readers Are Leaders Destiny Walk is aimed at reviving the reading culture in Nigeria. If you look at the last 5 years, we've had cases of horrible failures in exams. 2013 was 80%, okay? And it started from 2008 downwards. Now the question is, if we go on like this, what's the future of Nigeria? What's the future of the youths of Nigeria? And if the youth of Nigeria account for about 70% of Nigerian population, then we're living on a ticking time bomb. And we're saying, how do we reverse it? Back in the days, we were so intelligent in Nigeria that we had a brain drain where our doctors, our lawyers, and nurses were poached from abroad and taken away. Now we are the ones going abroad to look for doctors to come and work in Nigeria, nurses to come and work in Nigeria, teachers come and work in Nigeria. Why? Because we can't get competent Nigerians to do that. Why is that happening? Because there's a gap.
I think the reading status in Nigeria is actually going extinct. People are more into technology these days instead of reading. They think the book thing is more like work now. So I don't know. Maybe instead of the book, some people find it more like difficult to carry like 300 pages or 500 pages of something to read. Maybe more like audiobooks could work. More on the system on computers could actually work for people to do. Maybe that would be better off than the bulky books.
It's simply to create an awareness for the youths to focus more on being great leaders for the future. And the only thing they can do is to imbibe the culture of reading right now. And that will ensure that they have a strong hold for the future in terms of accumulation of intellect.
Some of people doesn't like reading because of money issue in Nigeria, because everybody wants money, everybody wants to make money by all means. So when you call about reading, they won't like to go ahead and read. But I prefer that Nigerian education needs to be upgraded a little, because at least let the students concentrate and always read.
We need to always think of the kids, think of the young ones, think of the future when we do what we do these days. You know, they are always neglected. We always say the children are the future, the children are the future, but sometimes we don't really do enough for this kids to carry them along. So I think it's a laudable objective.
Books or literature materials have enormous influence on those who read them. Reading is one of the best ways to bring up children, and the habit of reading for pleasure is the key to developing these skills at such vulnerable stage in life. A good book has a salutary effect on the mind of its reader. It elevates the spirit and thought. It augments one's store of knowledge. Books help in correcting moral ineptitude, especially in these days of mechanical existence. The best source of acquiring knowledge are books. Reading brings about a revolutionary change in the outlook of a person. It keeps a person busy when one isn't occupied. Embracing a reading culture is vital to the individual and to the overall development of any nation. The significance to any nation's development cannot be overemphasized, as no country can dream of meaningful development if its citizens cannot and do not read books.
I think it's a bit low, but people still read. People who understand that reading is about learning more, acquiring more knowledge, and putting it into practice. It's not just acquiring knowledge or not putting it into practice, but it must be put into practice so that it can be reserved from ideas to form of bringing us something very good to apply to the nation.
Well, I think we could reignite the habit of reading by provision of libraries and study facilities, basically.
I mean, it's a very great initiative for the KO Foundation to come up with something like this. I feel the young ones out here, we owe it to them to revive that vibrant urge to read and to educate ourselves, because knowledge is power, and we're fast losing that. If you see how well the youths have been put into destructive elements of the society, I think if they had their minds in the right places, they wouldn't allow anybody to use them as puppets of ills against society. So I feel this is just trying to re-energize the mind of the youths that has been lost. The brain drain has affected us a great deal. So I feel we need the youths to start reading again.
I think it has to do with the parents, probably starting with the kids very young, because while we were growing up, we had the reading culture. You had your books. We didn't have so much of telephones, technology, and all the rest. So I think it should start with the parents. Put the culture into their kids. Try and put books on the tables in the house instead of phones, iPads, and the rest.
I know the world is going digital now, so people will say, okay, fine, isn't that going to put a limitation or a strain on reading? No, it won't. You can read books off your mobile phones, you can read books off tablets, you can read books off your laptops, so there's nothing limiting you.
More of this, more libraries, books, and I think more of this initiative.
Catching fun, going to music, sports, and kind of movie industry, going to cinema, all those things. Instead of them to read, they always go hang out and every one of those things.
An enlightened citizenry can readily be mobilized for the attainment of political, social, and economic goals of a nation. Regaining the reading culture is not rocket science and can be achieved with some effort, consistency, and social adjustments. 1. Start with developing a passion for it. People will be more excited about reading when they can choose books or magazines related to their interests. This suggestion is by far and away the most powerful one. When you own the choice of what you want to read, motivation increases significantly. 2. Make reading a social experience. People who don't enjoy reading alone often enjoy reading with somebody else.
There's movements like this, campaigns like this will constantly revive the reading culture in our system and in our people. So it's things like this that the people should put their weight behind things like this.
To be very precise, I read one in a week. Maybe it's slow to me, but I think it's to understand what I'm reading that matters. The last time I read a book, I read yesterday, and it was a Bible. Simple. That's what I read yesterday.
People working to revive reading and all, because the reading culture in Nigeria it's really awkward. It's horrible. No one reads anymore. That saying that if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. It's like it's glaring in our faces 24/7.
Yeah, well, what I think is something good because reading is dying in Nigeria, and I think you just need to study, you need to read, because without that, you're not going to be learned and you're not going to get information. So for me, I think it's something strong we need to bring back, because if you go outside the country, a civilized country, you see kids. I was in Dublin, I saw some kid, if it's a question they were asking me, oh, so many beautiful questions, and I was like, so I think we should, put all hands on deck and support this cause and make sure it's something that will come back. And I want to say, even if you want to be a career person, no matter what you want to do, you need to read, you need to study.
Reading in Nigeria is supposed to be encouraged because readers are leaders. Well, we can do several things, just like what we did today. We did an awareness, we talked the talk, and then we'll walk the walk of encouraging people to read and then to imbibe the reading culture in Nigeria. Yeah.
So I see you have a book.
Yes, I do.
Tell us about the book.
The book is titled The Champion in Me. It was written by me. I'm an author. I wrote this book, and then The Champion in Me, in brief, is just talking about discovering your potentials, discovering the real you, understanding what works for you, knowing who you are, knowing how to discover your potentials and everything that you have inside of you. That's what it's about.
Is that most people now, instead of to read, they like to struggle. If you are reading, when will you get money? If you are going to school, if you don't have money, you won't be able to concentrate on what your lecturer or your teacher is teaching you in school.
I would say people take reading for granted in Nigeria. I think it's something we should cultivate the habits.
I think the first thing we do is the orientation. People don't understand what reading does to them. They just feel that the books are just the books. So you need to let them know the importance of it, and then do so many of this, more campaigns, put books in the hands of young people, different books, and let them know what it's going to do to them in the future.
The government are not even encouraging the students and all. So many, even the schools, they are not really funding the education sectors the way it should be, and those are just those things. And even those people, our handler in that sector are really very poor.
Investing in people and trying to bring back the reading culture in Nigeria is something that is really needed. For a whole lot of us, we know that the reading culture is dying, and it will be so unfair if we pretend that we don't know about it. And what can we do about it? And this is a step in the right direction. Trying to inform people what it means to read. Trying to let people understand what readers, what they become.
3. For parents who are finding difficulty getting their children to read aloud to them. Many parents regularly read aloud to their children when they are very young, yet stop this activity as the kids get older. Parents should read aloud to children throughout the elementary grades. Doing so makes reading more enjoyable, improves listening skills, builds comprehension, lengthens attention span, and grows the imagination. 4. Be a role model to kids. When children see the adults reading frequently, discussing what they have read, and carrying books around, they will value reading to a greater extent. The power of modeling cannot be underestimated. 5. Take advantage of new technology. People who may not find books interesting may enjoy reading the same text on smartphones, computers, and electronic readers such as the iPad or Kindle. Technology makes everything seem cooler and more engaging to people, and we should capitalize on this fact when it comes to reading and read articles or download novels online. 6. Be sure not to read books that are appropriately challenging. Many times, people don't want to read simply because the books they encounter are too difficult. 7. Commit yourself to reading to get one or more ideas to help you become a more enthusiastic leader, giving credence to the popular saying, "A great reader is a great leader." Ask your relatives, friends, or colleagues to refer you to books they've enjoyed. Visit the closest book club or library to you and pick a book off the shelf. Download that ebook to read something useful and interesting every now and then. Like exercise, reading keeps the body, mind, and soul of an individual active. And that's it on Public Announcement. Join us next week for another intriguing and informing episode. Goodbye.